Hey everyone, welcome to a special bonus episode of Locked On Lakers for Friday and Saturday, depending on when you're listening. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. The Lakers right the ship in New Orleans, but did they right it enough to win Saturday in Milwaukee? Talk about that next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network anywhere in the known universe. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky here, Locked On Lakers. Lakers 118, Pelicans 104 in New Orleans. Andy, I would say this was not exactly a dominant win. It was not a nail biter. The Lakers were really in control for most of this game. It wasn't a bad performance. It wasn't a great performance. I think the Lakers tried, but they didn't necessarily play focused or well. All in all, it was an improvement over, say, the Atlanta game. But probably not where JJ Redick wants them to be, especially heading into Milwaukee on Saturday night. So better, but maybe room for improvement.
I thought at times they looked very good, and most of those times were when the starters were in. In particular, Luka Dončić, Deandre Ayton, Ayton especially, I thought were very good. I thought Austin had a good night. I thought Rui had a good night. I thought Marcus Smart had a reasonably good first half. I thought he got wild as this game went along.
Adventurous.
He took 10 threes in this game. Like 10 threes should be like, if not a week for Marcus Smart, maybe like 3 days, like 3 games. It should not be one game. But, again, the first half, I thought Marcus played pretty well. And I thought the other 4 starters were anywhere from very good to excellent. The bench was an issue in this game, and basically that's when leads kept getting chipped away, or in the fourth quarter actually getting down to single digits, which is kind of ridiculous against a Pelicans team that's won 2 games and is missing at minimum one of their 2 best players, depending on how much you still believe in Zion over Trey Murphy III. But we wanted the Lakers to get like a decisive win, and in the grand scheme of things, that is what happened in this game. But if you look under the hood, there were still things not to like in this game. But as I did mention, I'm sure we'll get into, there were elements to like as well.
Yeah, again, like it's just saying, like I don't walk away from this unhappy with what they did. It was just one of those things where you're like,
you're not as pleased as you hope to be.
Right. It's like going to a restaurant that you really like. And you get there and you're used to, a certain level of service, a certain level of quality and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, the meal isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, this wasn't their best night. Like it was there, I doubt the folks back in the kitchen were blowing it off, but like, it just wasn't quite right. It didn't come together.
Although at times the servers and the busboy and the bartender kicked ass.
The appetizer was good, but the main was like whatever.
Well, part of the main, like the steak was good. The sides, you know what I mean? Like it's not that the whole meal wasn't good, and it's not like all elements of the service were good. It's like one of those restaurants where a lot of people take care of you, and it really depends on who it was.
Yeah, but I mean, as you go through the numbers, Austin Reaves led Lakers in scoring, 31 points, added 4 rebounds and 7 assists. A pretty good bounce back game for Austin. Got to the line 13 times, and aside from a couple squirrely moments, but you tend to get that periodically with Austin. It was a solid night. Luka finished with 24, 7, and 12, only 3 turnovers, but 6 of 16 from the floor. So the inefficiency from Luka is sort of continuing. You mentioned DeAndre Ayton.
He was
10 of 11. Yeah, it was 10 of 11 from the floor. More importantly, 16 rebounds, including 3 offensive. He had 2 steals. He had a block. He was a plus 35 in this game.
He's a plus 35, and as much as DeAndre's numbers will jump out at you because 10 of 11 from the field, according to StatMuse, he is the first Laker with 20 and 15 on 90% from the field since Shaq in 2002. Like, it's a pretty staggering line, but his defense in a lot of ways was what really jumped out at me. There were several plays where DeAndre created misses or turnovers because he was just really active in the lane. And especially too, what jumped out at me with DeAndre was just the last few games, there's been some slippage, and he hasn't necessarily been terrible other than OKC and Atlanta, but everyone was terrible. But like he needed a bounce back game. And even if you look at the Pelicans and say, let's do it against a better team, and fair enough, this was a really nice night for DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, I agree. And it was almost exactly sort of the prototypical, like what you would expect offensively. We've made note, like DeAndre is not a guy who's going to get to the free throw line a lot. He had 20 points, he had 10 field goals, but the efficiency was really there. I think you mentioned it at the top. Like, the issue here in this game, Luka wasn't super efficient, but the Lakers obviously performed extremely well with him on the floor. 12 assists. He moved the ball well. It could have been more. A lot of the 9 misses from 3-point range for Marcus Smart were off of passes from Luka Dončić, and so like that could have been 14 or 15 assists easily. It was just one of those things where, like, the major moments where the opposition, where the Pelicans got back into the game, hot shooting, generally against the second unit. And, the Lakers are going to need to be able to figure out, at least over the next few games until LeBron comes back, how they're going to smooth out those moments where particularly Luka is not on the floor. And, how do you get offense out of Jared Vanderbilt? How do you, especially on a night where Smart is all over the damn place offensively, where are your points going to come from? Because, somebody like Jake LaRavia, the 80% shooting jag that he was on seems to be over.
Yeah. He did lead the bench with 6 points. So I guess in that
right.
sense,
and I'm not even saying Jake played poorly. No. I'm just saying, that burst that he had where it was like, damn, that appears to have passed.
Yeah. And he's not a natural scorer. He's not somebody that you would look at to lead your bench in scoring anyway. I've said it before. I will say it again. When LeBron is back, I think Rui needs to go to the bench, not just for defensive balance and better floor balance among the starting 5. They need to spread around the scoring options throughout a game. To be clear, this is not a demotion of Rui at all. He's doing his part. You can only play 5 guys to start a game. He's the most natural, just sort of logical guy to do this. His minutes should remain high, and other guys are going to, between LeBron just coming back in and of itself, guys are going to start losing minutes as it is, and that's fine. But the lack of scoring beyond the starting 5 is a thing.
Yeah, and there were some numbers that folks were had out over the if you were looking at social media on Friday. It's like Frank excuse me, had some stuff about the numbers with DeAndre and Rui together, particularly defensively, and they're not good. So, there are some reasons I think you might want to split that pairing up. Yeah. But like you say, it's not anything Rui's necessarily doing wrong. It's just you've got to figure out how to balance it, because obviously LeBron is going to start, and you're not. I mean, people can. I know there's a strong and very vocal contingent of Lakers fans who want Austin Reaves to go to the bench. It is not going to happen.
There's a strong contingency of Laker fans who want LeBron to go to the bench. It's not going to happen.
There is a vocal group for just, we are a lid for every pot kind of fan base.
And we welcome and love you all.
Yes. But, so I agree with you. And I think ultimately, Smart was a little squirrely on Saturday, or I'm sorry, on Friday, but the defensive balance that he provides just makes a lot more sense. A little bit more on this game in a moment, but first, Andy, we need to tell people about this.
Well, that Locked On Lakers is brought to you by Drip Drop, new sponsor, and it's great. When I'm hydrated, everything is just better, and it's why I'm using Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what the day looks like. And it's not your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands, using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, over 90% of top college and pro teams. I've been adding it to my water during workouts. It tastes fantastic. My favorite flavor, sugar-free cherry limeade, but I'm really enjoying all of the citrus choices. It's great for staying sharp and energized during long days. If I'm going to be driving around a lot, I put some in my commute water, my commuting bottle, and it makes that traffic that much more bearable. So right now, Drip Drop, they're offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. So go to dripdrop.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNBA. That's dripdrop.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNBA for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard. Keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop.
Locked On Lakers also brought to you by Wayfair. Holiday season's right around the corner. That means it's time to get your home ready, whether you need more seating for guests, new cozy linens, or fun serveware for holiday hosting. Wayfair's Black Friday sale is here to help you get them make your space shine. The best part is you don't have to wait. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long, with up to 70% off everything from sofas to spatulas. All the S's and the rest of the alphabet as well on sale during the Black Friday deals across November. We've got some stuff in our home that are from Wayfair. I walked my way into the house. Got some outdoor furniture that we bought at Wayfair that I love to see out there. On a nice sunny day, I sit out on our little front porch on this outdoor couch that we got there. It looks great, fits like a glove. Delivery was fantastic, easy setup, all that stuff. And the holidays come around, you want the place to look nice. You want to impress the family. You want to impress your friends. If you've ever hosted family for the holidays, you know how much a difference a few nice little touches can make. Wayfair makes it easy. Don't miss out on those early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale for up to 70% off. It's WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. So I was looking at for the numbers exactly from Itzhak Franco that he posted on Friday, and I'm not pulling him up, but it's basically the Lakers are very good when Ayton's on the floor. The Lakers are very good when Rui's on the floor. The Lakers are very bad when Rui and Ayton are on the floor together. So that's the gist of it. And these are the kinds of things that you just have to look at, because basketball is not played in a vacuum. It's not just an individual talent. It is how all the parts work together. And the Lakers, as we learned watching the game on Wednesday, Andy, they need to become something that's a little better than the sum of the parts, which means using all the parts as efficiently as possible.
And that efficiency, I said this heading into the game against the Pelicans, one of the few things they can do if you allow this to take place is get steals. They got a bunch of guys who average a steal or more per game. And the Lakers had 4 turnovers, I want to say, in the first 5 minutes of the game. I remember Luka had one, let's just say, very ambitious cross-court pass that felt unnecessarily risky, and it eventually turned into a turnover because the ball just kind of bopped around because nobody could control it. Deandre Ayton ended up getting called for a turnover because he was trying to corral it while off balance. And things like that, as brilliant a passer as Luka is and was tonight, those type of possessions add up. And I'm pretty sure New Orleans scored off that turnover. And again, I'm not saying this to pick on Luka. I'm saying it's emblematic of the things all of them have to avoid. And it's also a matter of concentration, execution, just staying. It's funny, actually, as far as the minding of all the details, and it's very specific to this game because it was a cup game. Lakers now 2-0 in cup play.
Woohoo!
Down the stretch of the game, Deandre Ayton clearly either forgot the point differential rules and cutoffs for cup play, or just decided there's 30 seconds left in this game. I don't care. But there was a point where everybody was looking for him to shoot with the clock running down, and he just passed the ball out and got a 24-second violation.
It's so hard. Like, it can be really, like, there are
JJ
times,
wasn't upset about it at all.
no, but like, you see it sometimes when you're used to, you're up 10, you're up 12, you're up 14. The other team's down by the bucket. You're used to just conceding a basket because the last thing you want to do is give up as an and one in situations like that. This sort of reprogramming of, no, you got to keep scoring. No, you have to, in theory, prevent all this. I mean, if it comes down to it, in the Lakers, let's say they win all their games or 3 out of 4, and you lose out on that championship game because of point differential. I mean, I guess we can have another conversation. I'll be okay with it because it means they've won most of the games in this setup. They might be upset because it might mean they're out $500,000 or a shot at $500,000. So I get it. I just look, they're going to need to play better in Milwaukee on Saturday. And to that effect, it will be something of a fair fight, because while the Lakers don't need to get, while the Bucks don't need to get on an airplane on Friday night, they are playing on the second night of a back-to-back, and they were pushed to overtime by the Hornets, so they had to do a little more work to get their win than the Lakers did. I would like to see how they hopefully elevate a little bit in this game. Giannis is obviously going to be a major problem. He has been a major problem for everyone. He had 18 assists in the game on Friday. Kyle Kuzma, who has been for long stretches with the Bucks awful, seems to have found a little bit of, kind of quietly found a bit of a groove over the last 2 weeks. He's playing much better. He had an excellent game on Friday, 29, 10, and 5.
Ryan Rollins has been terrific.
Ryan Rollins has
all
been
year.
spectacular.
He is
one of the
really good.
Really, I mean, I sat there, I almost picked him up for my fantasy team, and I didn't. And then I am very angry about that. So I will be rooting against Ryan Rollins for that reason, more than anything, on Saturday. But like the Milwaukee's not a bad team. I don't think they're going anywhere championship wise, but you still got to play well to beat them. The Lakers will need to play better than they did on Friday, but at least they took a step in the right direction. Yeah, I mean, we get real greedy sometimes, like expecting, sort of perfection. But
you know what? I mean, like we talked about heading into this game, and then we can wrap. It wasn't even about expecting perfection. We talked about wanting a blowout win because we felt like, given the way this road trip has gone, it would be good for this team psychologically, and for their own confidence, and like you talked about with the example of how sometimes it benefits your son's soccer team to play against a bad team and play well just so you get the practice in of execution. You wanted to see the Lakers get the most practice executing. For the most part with the starters, they did. And at times with the starters, they played quite well. It's just the parts of the game where you can't have all 5 of those dudes in were kind of dicey a lot during tonight.
Yeah. And so, we'll see how this goes. The Lakers, if they can pick up a win in Milwaukee, would do a lot, not just to, for the, the psyche and all that, but it would really do a lot to kind of reclaim the road trip and make it into a success heading into back-to-back games against the Jazz, both of which should be winnable. And really, we'll take a look at the schedule probably maybe as the week begins, but a winnable stretch of games coming up at home for the Lakers if they can get through this, or maybe steal a game Saturday night, Milwaukee. Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can go hang out with over 37,000 subscribers, Andy, all of whom are waiting for you to tell them about this.
Well, that Locked On Lakers finally brought to you by DoorDash. The NBA season, it has heated up, and DoorDash, it's all hot. And DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long, whether you're watching for highlights, your fantasy team, Ryan Rollins, or your favorite player. DoorDash makes every night with games even better. DoorDash, the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the bag drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with the Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered to win the ultimate fan bag, player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, stuff you're going to actually want. And it's not just food. You can get everything from snacks to drinks to headphones, ice, even socks, all delivered. So next time someone goes off for 50, use the promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass. Plus, your shot at the bag drop, Dash Pass members only, 50% off up to $10 the next day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long.
All right. See everyone after the game on Saturday.